Okay. Okay. Is this crooked? I think that's better. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. How are ya? How are ya? How are ya? There we go. I think I'm getting sick, gang. I think I'm getting sick, which blows. Which blows. Pretty sure I'm sick. I can feel it. You know that little itch. That one swallow feels bad. Next thing you know, that's it. Thank you for the $10, Brody Mans. I missed you, Daddy. Oh, I'm back. I'm back. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Party too hard on Friday. That's why. Nah, bro. My voice didn't hurt like this yesterday. Mexico on Fire is a psyop, right? No. No, it's not a psyop, dude. No, dude, that's what happens when you take out a fucking cartel leader. Is the cartels go, all right, I'ma body your shit, son. No, that's not a fucking psyop. It's not a psyop. However, they will lie and they will claim that this was a solely Mexican operation. That's a lie. This was a joint operation with the American military. We played a huge role in this. It's part of the reason why they're targeting American tourists in Guadalajara. Yeah, they literally said, this is what we'll do if you fuck with us. And then we fucked with them, and now this is what they're doing. What happened in Mexico? Well, the Mexicans and the Americans together in a joint operation took out one of the key cartel leaders, El Hencho, I think, or El Mencho? El Mencho. And in response, the cartels are just going around slaughtering motherfuckers, lighting fucking airports up, burning shit to the ground, kidnapping Americans. They're just going nutty. They're just going nutty. Cuba has collapsed. Okay, I'm done advocating for Cuba in this chat. The Cuban Revolution will never die out. Long live Shiv. Yeah, no, Cuba is being destroyed by American sanctions. We've talked about that before. I have a video called, like, Cuba is starving or some shit like that. The most violent of the cartels in Mexico? Oh, Jesus Christ. I thought that was a Sinaloa cartel. Or is that... How's the weather? I mean, it's a blizzard. It's a fucking blizzard, gang. It's a fucking blizzard. You have a P.O. box? I do not. Avi keeps telling me I should make one of those, but I'm too fucking lazy. Excuse me. Is that our dossier? Glass found in the chicken fried rice from Trader Joe's? Jesus Christ. All right, we got a pretty long document for the day. There's a couple of things that I wanted to talk about beforehand.
Venezuela on Thursday passed a limited amnesty bill that human rights groups say falls short of offering relief for hundreds of political prisoners in the country. The law was approved after a second.
Anything on Trump Truth? I mean, he just posted some stupid bullshit about the, about the tariffs. He's like, I don't need Congress's approval. And any country that wants to play games with us, I'm gonna hit you with an even harder tariff. You know, he's going dumb stupid as he always does.
Debate in the ruling party-controlled legislature. And interim President Delcy Rodriguez, who took power last month after the U.S. ouster of President Nicolas Maduro.
This is what I wanted to watch.
Violence has erupted across Mexico following the killing of the country's most wanted drug leader, known as El Mencho, in a military operation on Sunday. You can see smoke billowing into the sky there in this resort town on Mexico's Pacific coast. A witness says fires are ongoing and smell like burning rubber. Officials say suspected members of organized crime groups unleashed the wave of violence after the death of El Mencho. He was a former police officer who was one of the world's most wanted traffickers. He led the powerful Jalisco New Jersey.
Do you know how fucking corrupt the Mexican police has to be for this guy to join the Mexican police and be like, I think I'd be better off running a cartel. I think I'd be better off. He was a cop? Yeah, well, the thing, listen, I have some friends in the Mexican government, and the problem is that, like, the Mexican army, Mexican special forces, and the Mexican police, by and large, work hand in hand with the cartels, right? And the government has been trying to root out these bad actors within their police forces, but it's like half of them, dude. It's like half of them. It's sort of like ICE, you know, like they're just not they're not really law enforcement.
Generation Cartel, or the CJNG. CNN's Valeria Leon has more details for us.
Fire, smoke, and chaos across several Mexican states. Cities brought to a standstill as criminal groups retaliate after...
Shadow just says, Chris, you're Italian, I'm black. I'll trade you an N-word for a W word. Are you talking about the word WAP? Brother, we're Italians. You can call us whatever slurs you want. We're the last minority. You can call us slurs. No one will bat an eye. No one's going to stop you from calling me a dirty wop, dago, guido, greaseball piece of shit. No one's going to bat an eye. It's allowed. It's allowed, my man. Go for it, son. I'll say it with you. I'll say it with you. Wop. I'll say it with you. Wop. Luigi, Dohairas, Likiri. Wop. There you go. There you go. We're not giving you N-word passes in 2026. Brother, I didn't fucking ask for one.
Mexico's most wanted drug leader died following a military operation Sunday. Blocked highways, drivers forced out of their cars at gunpoint, trucks and buses set on fire. Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes.
All right, I guess, you know what, I'll wait until we can cover this. I'll wait until I record this. I wanted to see what Trump had to say in this stupid fucking speech he gave.
Administration. These are the angel families that we love, that for decades our government
Thanks for
betrayed.
the $5, Eric.
And our media totally ignored, and I've seen it. When I first got involved with the angel families, I had a meeting. It was so sad.
Oh, yeah,
got
the
up and
John
spoke
Barron call. I gotta pull that up. That shit was so fucking funny, dude. That's not the first time he's done this. Have you guys heard about this? All right, real quick, I'll give you some background. So, Trump has a pseudonym or a fake name, a fake identity. He's used this for like a decade, and it's called John Barron, right? And John Barron calls into Fox News, calls into C-SPAN. John Barron, yeah, it's his old alias from the 80s. This is like confirmed. And he does this. He calls in and pretends to be somebody else and glazes Trump, but he is Trump. And he doesn't even try to hide his own voice, like not even a little bit. Wasn't it an impressionist? No, dude, this is Donald Trump. He has done this for like a decade.
John in Virginia, Republican. Let's hear from you.
Well, this is John Barron, and this is the worst decision you've ever had in your life, practically. Jack's going to agree with me, right? But this is a terrible decision. And you have Hakeem Jeffries, he's a dope, and you have Chuck Schumer, who can't cook a cheeseburger. Of course these people are happy. But true Americans will not be happy. And you have the woman earlier. I assume she's a woman. She's a Democrat.
This one was fake, Chris. It's an impressionist. If you've got proof, send it. If you have proof of that, send it.
But she said she's disgraced. She's devastated.
All right,
by
John.
this.
We'll go to Chester, who's in Baton.
Just cut him off quick because I realized it was fucking Donnie. Just cut him off quick.
John in Virginia.
Sounds a bit fake. Oh, he has done this before. He has done this before.
The media literally just turned off the cameras. They didn't want to hear him. It was my first glimpse as to what was happening. These are sick people that cover stories like that, or that don't cover them, which is worse. Everyone in this room not only suffered an infinite loss, they were the victims of politicians who put the comfort of foreign criminals before the safety of American citizens and American patriots. Their stories were censored and suppressed like maybe almost never before, so that the politicians could open our borders and allow our nation to be invaded. If we didn't win the election, our nation would right now be destroyed. But under the Trump administration, their suffering is forgotten no longer.
Fuck is he
In
even
just
talking
a few
about?
moments,
Are angel families, like, is that a name for people who were killed by undocumented immigrants? Is that what the fuck they're talking about? They must have just created this, bro. They must have just created this. Angel families urge Republicans to pass big beautiful bill and secure. So this is from May of 2025. They must have created that term recently.
I officially signed a proclamation that I've been waiting to sign for a long time, including my first administration. There were so many different legal roadblocks, it was incredible. We
I
got
did
it
not play
done,
Hoi 4.
and I'm doing it today. February 22nd is going to be National Angel Family Day. Very important. So many incredible family members and friends, parents and children. On February 22nd, 2 years ago, a brilliant 22-year-old nursing student named
Laken Riley.
Laken Hope Riley went out for a run on a
Putting him on
college campus in
1.5.
Georgia. Laken was viciously attacked, brutally beaten, and murdered by an illegal alien gang member who the last administration heartlessly released into our country. No problems. Let him in. They let in everybody. They didn't check anybody. They let in everybody. Among the first bills I signed into law after taking office last year was the Laken Riley Act. I'm so proud of it. To ensure illegal alien criminals are rapidly removed from the United States of America, if that's okay with the media. That bill has already been really playing a big role in the life of our country. It's resulted in over 21,000 illegal alien arrests. 21,000.
No fighting. No fighting.
We're joined this morning by Laken's parents, who I have gotten to know. These are incredible people. And I want to ask Laken's mother, Allison, to please come forward and say a few words, please. Hi, Allison.
Well, this is unexpected, but I think that a lot of people feel like that President Trump is maybe different than the person I've gotten to know. And I just can't thank you enough. You have said from the beginning, literally the day after this happened, that you would not forget about Laken. You weren't president at that time, and you have not forgotten. You have fought a fight that most people would not want to have to fight. Most people wouldn't. They would just say it's just easier not to do this. And President Trump you are doing a thankless job that most people just wouldn't do. And I just can't thank you enough. There are just not enough words to say. Because if you've lived the nightmare that we have lived, you understand the importance of the job that he's doing and securing our nation and fighting for our families. Because this could be any family. This happened to my family. This could be any one of your families. And Laken was the most responsible, hardworking, kind, selfless, beautiful Christian. And she wasn't somebody that put herself in bad positions. She didn't make bad choices. She was just a good girl. And she just wanted to go for a run that morning after she'd gotten up at 4 o'clock the morning before to decorate her roommate, hardworking.
I don't really give a fuck.
Thank you very much. Amazing, Allison. You have to go through this. Doesn't get that much easier, does it? Right? Even with time. It's been a while now, and it doesn't get that much
What did that chatter say? How's Mom Donnie doing, by the way? Just wanted to check in the Fake Socialist podcast. Dude, Mom Donnie's doing great. Mom Donnie's doing great. He got us free child care for kids who are like, what, 3 years old? Yeah, no, he's been doing incredible. The reaction to the blizzards has been incredible. He's been murdering, bro. He just told what is it, Hochul or Hochul? He was like, yeah, no, we're getting $10 million, and that's up to you whether or not you want to find that money, because we're gonna take it regardless. We're gonna loot the treasury for that. He has done everything he has promised so far. He's actually incredible. He's actually incredible.
But I want to thank you for your incredible courage. We're all courageous in a sense. Everybody in this room is courageous, and we're willing to tell the story. And that, I don't know why the news doesn't want to hear it. The Democrats don't want to hear it. The radical left, they don't want to hear it. What's not to hear? We want to stop murderers and criminals from coming into our country. I watched the mayor of Minneapolis. I watch these people saying, we want to protect murderers. I don't get it. Something's sick. They're sick. You can't have a country like that. So we appreciate the bravery of everybody in this room, actually. And Christy, I want to thank you, and I want to thank Tom in particular for, we have a border that's 100% closed now. 100%. So Lakin's story is even more tragic because her death was completely preventable. This shouldn't have happened. Guy should never have been here. Not only should her killer not have been released into our country in the first place, but he was released a second time after being arrested in New York City.
Stop it.
Here today is a great gentleman, the police officer who arrested that illegal alien, only to watch him be set free to kill. I mean, he was arrested and they let him go free. They knew he was trouble, big trouble. Many of them are like that. They release him knowing it's going to kill again, but they released him and set him free to kill Lakin. So I'd like to have Ethan Carreri come up, please. He's a great, highly respected police officer, and you can explain what happened. Come on up. Thank you, Ethan. Thank you.
Mr. President, it's an honor to be here today, and it's an honor to be speaking with you guys. My name is Ethan Carreri. I'm a police officer in Palm Beach County, Florida, and a former New York City police officer. While serving the New York City Police Department, I personally arrested Jose Ibarra for endangering the welfare of a child. A few months later, I saw his face again in the news after he viciously murdered Laken Riley. I did my job. I put him in custody. The system failed. No detainer, no accountability, no deportation, and an innocent American life was taken. If you enter our country illegally, there will be consequences under this administration. The American citizens must always come first.
He's not paying the consequences for coming in here illegally. He's paying the consequences for brutally murdering a young girl. Like, this is my thing. I don't understand how retarded somebody has to be to conflate, like, any undocumented immigrant with the guy who murdered Laken Riley. How are you able to do that? It's like one of them, did he rape her too? I don't know. Maybe he did. But, like, one of them is like a brutal murder rapist, and the other one has a paperwork violation. How are you gonna equate the two? It's so fucking stupid.
To Laken Riley's family, your loss should have never happened. We owe it to you and every American family to enforce our laws, secure our border, and protect innocent lives. Mr. President, thank you so much for having me here today, and thank you for all you've done for our country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I noticed you left New York to come to Florida. It's in a way, it's too bad, right? But you couldn't take it anymore. They don't let you do your job. But thank you.
Chatter says, all sock dem will and has sent defensive weapons to Jisrael, by the way. Mamdani El Goat. And you are a fucking loser for thinking sock dems would save you losers? Wait, hold on. Do you think Zohran Mamdani has a say in whether the United States federal government sells weapons to Israel? I'm genuinely curious. Do you think that Zohran plays some sort... And don't ban this guy, please. Do you think that Zohran Mamdani is playing some sort of role in arming Israel? The mayor of New York City? Is that what you think, Perry? Perry, don't tell me you think that. Perry, do you think the mayor of New York City has a role to play in the federal government's weapons dealing with Israel? Are you dead ass? You can't be dead ass, right? But okay, Mexico is burning. What will Bernie say? I have the Mexico stuff queued up, but what will Bernie say? Well, listen, Bernie has disappointed me greatly in his liberal Zionist beliefs. He is still Like, the only one who is willing to fight for the working class. However, he's greatly disappointing with his liberal Zionist beliefs, and I have called him out on that. Do you think that, like, listen, I don't know if you're a Trump supporter or not, but do you think that we're, like, blindly loyal to our leaders? Because, listen, I fucking love Zoran, but if Zoran came out and was like, listen, we're sending money to Israel, I'd be like, all right, suck my fucking dick, now I hate you. Are you okay, bro? Are you good? I don't know why you're so angry, dude. Nobody, like, I've been live for 20 minutes. I don't think I've done anything. Y'all will. Oh, okay. So you just like, you're just like hallucinating, right? You're like hallucinating a fake future, and you're preemptively angry at the people who will do that in your hallucination. Is that what you're talking about? That doesn't make any sense. Thummy alert. Let me grab that. Thank you. Yah will praise free bus rides and subsidized childcare, but never tackle. Bro, do you know how to spell? But never tackle American imperialism. Yeah, no, American imperialism is absolutely fucking disgusting. That's why I advocate for, like, genuine, like, an opposition party that isn't like the Democrats being a doormat to fascism. Brother, I think that you and I are on the same side, and you're just like, I don't know, you just like to be contrarian or some shit. I don't know. You okay? You okay? Perry? I don't know. He's all over the fucking place. He's a troll? No, that ain't a troll. I think that one's fucking serious. I think he's seriously confused. Weenie, shush. They're having a fucking party 2 doors down. I can hear that shit booming. Booming. Luigi, it's fine. Oh my god. Luigi's also having a rough day because all the snow on top of the building keeps on melting off and slapping into the walls, slapping into the mirrors. No, not the mirrors, the windows. My bad. Do something? What? What do you think I'm doing right now, bro? I'm trying to propagandize the youth into becoming socialists. That's what I'm doing. That's what I do every day. Thanks for the gifted membership, Lizard. Appreciate you. Congratulations to Train Boy Eric. Just got gifted a free membership. All right. Think he's an accelerationist? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Sabrina Wallace, what's her opinion? I don't know who the fuck that is. Who's Sabrina Wallace? What the fuck is this? Y'all are out of your mind. Is that me hitting a Soviet squat? That's a good one. I'll keep that for later. You can barely go toe-to-toe with me in the chat. Y'all are going to get seriously cooked by fascism. Save the smoke you have from me in the chat for ICE, you morally parapletic cunts. Oh, somebody's a little triggered, bro. Listen, you should be channeling this energy towards your actual ideological enemies, not somebody who's made like 400 videos over the past year trying to tell you that ICE is a bunch of fucking Nazis and that Trump is a bunch of fascists. You might be big in your fifis, but I do want you to know one thing, and this is an irrefutable fact, Perry. I have done more for the movement in 2 years than you will in your entire life. I can guarantee that. That's all I'll leave you with. You can sit and think on that, you can ruminate on that, you can deny that all you want, but I can assure you, I will do more for this movement than you have and ever will. That's just a fact. That's an irrefutable fact, my boy. I'm not in the U.S. Oh, dude, then who gives a shit what you have to say? Genuinely. Bro, you're not even here. You don't even know the shit that we have to deal with. Who gives a fuck? You don't even go here. It's Mossad, folks. It's Mossad. I don't want to watch fellow leftists willingly get butt fucked, but if you can't go to toe with Big Perry, then you... Did you just refer to yourself in the third person? Are you dead ass, bro? Are you dead ass, bro? That's cringe as fuck. All right, let's finish this fucking video already.
Thank you very much, Nathan. Great, highly respected person. I have to do a little check-in before I introduce people, otherwise I get in trouble. Sometimes I introduce people and they say, sure, did you know this or that? But you checked out very, very well. Wow. Stories like Lakin's are one more reason why my administration will do everything in our power to end the scourge of sanctuary cities once and for all. They protect criminals. Why do people fight? They protect criminals with a vengeance. They fight for these criminals like murders. They're protecting murders. They fight for them so hard. There's something wrong with them. We're joined today by so many angel families who are grieving a terrible loss. They've gone through hell. Steve Ronnebeck was the father.
Well, this is why I've also said before that they're like, yes, we are up against fascists, right? But the people who do more damage to the movement are people like Perry, right? Those people are quite literally so obnoxious and so annoying that they make becoming a leftist hard for the average American. They're like, I don't want to be like this fucking guy. He's a fucking annoying, smarmy piece of shit. Addicted to reading like fucking theory. You know what I'm saying? The fascists are too stupid to actually make progress, whereas somebody like Perry is quite capable of dismantling a movement based on just being an annoying little fucking shit retard. Thank you for the $70. I appreciate that. Oh, I appreciate that a lot. Happy birthday.
1-year-old Grant Ronnebeck, a beautiful guy, who was shot and murdered by an illegal alien while he was working behind the counter of a convenience store in Arizona. He was working behind the counter. Steve, would you please come forward? We'll talk about your boy. Thank you very much.
Good to see you. You know, I spent some time with President Trump in his first election. President Trump talked about Grant even before he was elected in 2016. And finally, we had hope. We had hope that it was going to end. I was just talking to Secretary Noem that we all sat around a table one day during one of our visits to Washington. And again, the word preventable came up. All these deaths at the hands of illegal immigrants are preventable. They could have been stopped. We could have done so much more, unfortunately, at the hands of an election that we question. Somebody took their foot off the brakes and put their foot on the accelerator to let these people into our country. And it wasn't just regular people. It was criminals. It was murderers, killers, rapists. And now today, we are finally going to see that somebody's going to remember all of our loved ones. They're going to remember the names, and they're going to remember what we've all been through.
Dude, this is just like weird pomp and circumstance shit. What is this even for? What is this even for? This event is like angel families. Families of people who have been killed by undocumented immigrants.
Thank you, Mr. President.
And think of it, I'm not talking politics, I'm just talking life. If that election, if it wasn't rigged, it was a rigged election by millions and millions of votes. A guy that never left his basement, it was all run by crooked people. COVID was a little bit of a shield. We had a lot of things going on. But it was rigged by millions of votes. We did great in that election. If that election wasn't rigged, every single one of the people in this room right now would not be here. You'd be home with your son, daughter, family. We had a strong border. You know, we solved it twice, Tom. We solved it. In 2016, the border was bad. Nothing like it was this time. It was like beautiful compared to this time. This was legendary. In the history of the world, there's never been a border like this with millions of people poured in. At least 25 million people. And many of them were the wrong people. Many. You know, when countries fill up the caravans, they don't fill them up with their finest. I wouldn't. And I would do exactly what they did if the United States would be willing to take all of our criminals and people, or people that don't work. But they are smart people. I got to know most of those leaders. I know them. I said, what are you doing? They said, look, it was a totally open border. They saved...
You can permaban that fucking dumb retard, Perry. Perry, just so you understand, I do hope you get cancer and die slowly. Get rid of him. Suck my fucking dick. Your mother's a slut.
Millions of dollars. And they gave it to us, and we've done a great job. Tom Homan, course, they know 'em, our people. They've been incredible, the job they've done. And they take nothing but abuse, but, you know, they're sort of pretty hardened to that, I think, because they know they're doing the right thing. It just amazes me that there's not more support out there. It's just, we actually have a silent support. I think it's silent. I think it's, well, that's how I won. I got probably 85 million votes. They say 78 million, 79 million. They cheated in this election, too. It was just too big to rig. Too big to rig. But they cheated like hell. They can't win on policy. Men and women's sports. We have a new one, though.
Dude,
voter ID. I think that's
he
as crazy as-
always hits the men and women's sports thing. It's so fucking pathetic, dude, when less than 1% of the high school athlete population is even transgender.
They won't approve voter ID. They won't approve proof of citizenship. They won't approve no mail-in ballots, even though they know it's crooked as hell. Where the ballots are sent to, in many cases, Democrats. Republicans don't get theirs, and they're calling frantically to get their ballot. A Democrat will get 3, 4, 5, 6, and even 7 ballots. And then we're supposed to win. That's what they're good at. They're professional cheaters. But we wouldn't be here right now. I'm just thinking as we're going through, because
What's the over-under on Perry coming back with a second account? I'll give it like a $20 bet.
Put together. I suffer for the country. It's the people I've gotten to know, the mothers and fathers, mostly mothers and fathers. Husbands in some cases, wives in some cases, but mostly mothers and fathers, what they have to go through. Also with us is Marie Vega, the mother of Javier Vega Jr., a retired U.S. Marine and Border Patrol agent, so respected, who was murdered in front of his family by 2 illegal aliens, bad ones, really bad ones. People you could look at him and you could say, trouble. Trying to steal his family's trucks. He wanted to take everything the family had, but the trucks in particular. Marie, please come forward. Thank you, darling.
All right, so this is just a fucking waste of time. This is just a stupid fucking waste of time. You guys see Kash Patel partying after the Americans won the hockey game? It's so loud. Oh, what a fucking joke of a man. What an absolute joke of a man. And then I wanted to talk about Adam Mockler interviewing Gavin Newsom. He also, like, debated Hassan Piker and made a fucking fool of himself. Not Gavin. Adam did. He really did make a fucking fool of himself. As somebody who has watched both of them for a long time, it was, like, the most unproductive conversation I've ever fucking seen. It was like 2 hours of them arguing over whether the word marginal or meaningful is a good way to describe the difference between the Democrat and Republican parties. It was so fucking stupid, bro. It was so fucking stupid. But we're going to watch a little bit of
What
this.
about AIPAC? AIPAC never have and will never will. Elon Musk lied about his involvement. He was actually trying to come to the island. Trump, of course, has lied about his involvement every single day. But someone that recently was really caught lying was Howard Lutnick, who said that he had cut Epstein off in 2005.
But Lutnick needs, I think, to come clean, and he needs to explain himself a hell of a lot more than he has.
We are currently in Nashville, Tennessee, with California Governor Gavin Newsom for the first stop of his Red State book tour. Governor, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. This literally, we just got off stage. It's the quite literally, the first time I've ever done anything like this.
I really don't know if you can continue to consider Adam to be independent media. You know? He's online media. But like Midas touches, I think at this point, they're just an extension of the Democrat Party.
Which is go in front of a bunch of folks talking about the book and talking about the inspiration for the book and, you know, trying to open up and be honest about not only what's in the book, but the world and the moment we're living through.
I want to talk to you about politics in just one moment, but
I
first,
did listen to
let me
him
know
and Hassan, bro. Adam made a fucking fool of himself.
what we can expect from this book. What's the story that you tell in Young Man in a Hurry?
Well, one thing it's not is a sanitized version. It's not a political book. And I say that with respect, and I don't mean to malign or suggest pointing to any other books that are out there, but historically politicians, particularly those who are in elected office, tend to sanitize so much of what they write. This is anything but. I mean, I just broke everything open and really scrutinized myself, tried to take an objective look at my life, my life's choices, not only my life, but life of my mother, my grandfather, how that influenced me. You know, the alcoholism, the suicides, you know, the divorces, all those things that shape, I think, a lot of the experiences we all have. And, you know, the title Young Man in a Hurry is also the process of becoming not just a young man, but becoming a man, taking responsibility, being more accountable, for my family, for their welfare, and for my.
Mockler is good, but kind of bland. Well, he's, you know, he's so fucking libbed up, dude. He's so unbelievably libbed up.
Choices. And so it's also
I think Hassan called him Adam Mocklib or some shit.
A journey.
And there's the thing, don't get me wrong, I like the kid. I just think that he's too young to know what he's doing. He is being used by the DNC. And I'm sure the day will come where he'll have a belief that is directly contradicting to the DNC's beliefs. And then he'll realize that he fucked up and that he's not allowed to criticize the Democrat Party when he's receiving fucking money from them.
I call it a memoir of discovery. It was really a journey of discovery for me.
I found the stories you told on stage to be very captivating, very emotional. There was a moment when I was tearing up, and I was hoping my cameraman was too, because I didn't want to be the only one. So I look over and he's wiping his eye, and I was like,
who the fuck is crying when listening to Gavin Newsom give a speech?
oh, I'm good. I can wipe my eye too. And then I was like, you're crying first, bro. No, but either way, it was genuinely really, really captivating, really emotional. And I'm glad that you were so raw in the speech and in this. What advice would you have to a young man who's growing up in today's America? I feel like I'm a young man in a hurry, but when I look up to the highest echelons of politics and the people I'm supposed to look up to, like the president, I don't see any moral clarity. Yeah. He's posting racist.
You are not supposed to look up to the president. You have never been supposed to look up to the president, gang. Ever. Like, being a war criminal is a feature, that's not a bug, bro. To be the president of the United States, you need to be willing to kill so many people, which is why I will be running for president of the United States of America in the year 2036. Vote for me. I'll kill the people you don't like.
AI videos of our former presidents. He's calling for the arrest of the governor of my state of Illinois, J.B. Pritzker. He's calling for the arrest of every single Democratic governor because he wants to squash the opposition. What kind of moral clarity would you provide to a young man who's growing up in today's America, or young people in general?
Well, I think the most important thing, and
who's your running mate? I've said this a million times. It's going to be a Spider-Man suit, and the person within that suit will change based on my mood. Be a Sam Piker one day, Kyle Kalinske the next day, fucking Nelson, like Avo. It doesn't matter, but it's always going to be Spider-Man. It's just going to be Spider-Man, right?
To this years and years ago, learn from, don't follow others. Your expression's unique. No one else has it. And I say that because one of the things I've discovered in my own life is every time I compare myself to someone else, it created anxiety, man. Yeah. You know, the comparison's the thief of all happiness.
I don't know why, but Gavin gives me the vibe of like the pathological liar at the bar picking up a chick and giving her just like completely lying about his past, even his fucking name. That's the vibe Gavin gives me. Like when you go to like a whiskey bar, you know, you go to somewhere like Copper and Oak in the fucking West Village, right? Somewhere where it's just bunch of guys with whiskey sours. He gives me the vibe of somebody who's like I don't know, just a pathological liar, but really damn charming. You know, saying anything he's got to say just to get into your fucking pants. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be old enough to run in 2032. You were born in 97. I'm not good at math. Is that 35? Is that 35?
So this notion of discovering who you are, I mentioned it up on the stage today. Everyone has a story, and it's fascinating, unique. You see the world with a unique set of eyes. Your life is completely distinctive in terms of the experiences that have shaped it versus others. There may be commonality. There certainly is a lot more in common, but there's also nuance to that. And
you're not already 35? Bro, I'm 28. How old do you fuckers think I am? I'm 28 years old, gang. The fuck?
That's wonderful. Just stay there. Stay present in that space. Don't put a mask on. I did.
I'll bless you with a bella ciao. I'll bless you with a bella ciao. My voice is a little shot, but we'll do it anyway. Una mattina mi sono alzato, un bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Una mattina mi sono alzato e ho trovato un razor. Oh partigiano, portami via. Un bella ciao, bella ciao, bella ciao, ciao, ciao. Partigiano, portami via, che mi sento di morir. What a song. What a song. What a song.
Trying to be someone. And I'm finally discovering myself and just letting go.
Somebody said, do you have chronic back pain and no insurance too? I finally got insurance. I finally got insurance.
Breath. We're all trying to be in a hurry. We're all trying to be something, be like somebody. But really the whole point of the journey, man.
No, I saw Gavin when he was like, I'm just like you. I got a 960 on my SAT and I can't read. And then the camera pans, it's a crowd of black people. Brother. That's like when Biden said, he was like, we got the white kids and the poor kids. Brother. That's not the thing you say out loud. That's the thing you keep locked up. That's not how you address that at all.
Cover yourself. Yeah. And if you could just stay there and settle on that, again, learn from
You guys
it.
never
Really
seen
great.
Biden say that shit? That shit was so funny. Biden, white kids and poor kids. See if I can find that. That shit was so fucking funny. Yeah.
And the other thing we should do is we should challenge these students. We should challenge students in these schools to have advanced placement programs in these schools. We have this notion that somehow if you're poor, you cannot do it. Poor kids are just as bright and just as talented as white kids.
All right, you gotta go. Grandpa, you gotta get the fuck off the stage. Grandpa, you gotta get the actual fuck off the stage, Grandpa.
Wealthy.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Uncle Joe, what are you doing?
It's just, it's a hell of a way to live because you're living in the present. And you could be more to more people. You're more abundant. You're more open to experiences, adventures, things, advice, counsel. And I just think that's a big part of being a man and being a role model, being a kicker, because you're exactly goddamn right. It sure as hell ain't Donald Trump. And for a whole generation, in 10 years since they watched my kids, you know, I got 2 young boys. I mean, they literally grew up and it was like their algorithms or this Peterson kid, you know, from whatever his name, you know, yeah. And then, you know, then you got Kirk was all a big part of that. And, you know,
bro, you're a Democrat politician and you're telling us that your kids' feed is what? Andrew Tate, Jordan Peterson, and Charlie Kirk? Okay, so your kids fucking hate you? So, I mean, that, like, what are you teaching them at home when the doors are shut, when the windows are shut and no one's looking? What are you teaching them? Because if I ever caught my kid watching Andrew Tate or Jordan Peterson or Charlie Kirk, I think I'd hit him. Is that outlandish? Is that obscene? Be like, nah, we don't listen to Nazis in this home. You want to listen to that shit, pack a bag and fuck off.
Yeah, God bless him. But, you know, it was all this, you know, the Tate brothers, Andrew Tate, and, you know, all
okay, so your kids are watching Andrew. All right, dude, so your kids fucking hate you and women.
These, you know, the sort of bro stuff. And that's all the sort of Trump adjacent stuff that's not what I want my young boys to turn into. That's about power, dominance, and aggression. The superpowers are empathy, compassion, and collaboration, care. Those are the values that men can really thrive and find abundance in their lives.
Yeah, and the algorithms only incentivize the outrage. So whatever Trump or Elon Musk is saying on any given day.
What's wrong with Jordan Peterson? Well, I mean, other than him being like a complete piece of shit scumbag who never stops sobbing. I mean, he's also just like an authoritarian. He's a fucking, he's like a faux intellectual that uses big words to make himself seem a lot smarter than he is. He's also a massive fucking transphobe. He's also a huge drug addict. He's also a fucking loser.
Is blown up in the algorithms, but your advice was really good. I feel like due to the competitive nature of America, it's really easy as a young person who's trying to compete for the next job or the next position to kind of lose the learning aspect. Like, I don't have to be that person. I can learn from that person and kind of apply it to myself. Speaking of people who are not good to look up to, it feels like so many people in Trump's administration have gotten caught lying, straight up lying about their
Don't bash
involvement with
addicts.
Jeffrey
Bro, I'm a fucking addict. I'm an addict. I've been clean for 10 years. I will still bash addiction. Addiction is bad. Not doing anything about your addiction is bad. I have my fucking sobriety date tattooed on my fucking ribs, bro. Trust me. I'm allowed to talk my shit when it comes to drug addiction. And if you're a fucking grown-ass man with a massive fucking platform and a drug addict, I'm going to shame you for being a fucking drug addict.
Elon Musk lied about his involvement. He was actually trying
What was
to come
your
to
drug?
the island.
Cocaine.
Trump, of course, has lied about his
Fucking love cocaine. Luigi, do harass likiri!
his involvement every single day. But someone that recently was really caught lying was Howard Lutnick, who said that he had cut Epstein off in 2005. He said he got the heebie-jeebies, wouldn't let his family around him. But now we learn that he had visited Epstein's island with his family. He's in more trouble for alleged corruption with his family this week. Do you think Howard Lutnick should resign, be fired? What type of accountability would you like to see for these people who are just lying their asses off?
There's been no accountability.
What's the date, Chris? 7/14/15.
Across the spectrum, when the irony is we're seeing there's been accountability around the globe, but not in the United States of America. And Lutnick's just exhibit A.
Luigi!
I don't know. There's nothing to suggest he
Got
was
the Democratic Socialist tank, thank you. You must be Kenneth. You must be Kenneth. Yeah? Much appreciate, Kenneth.
a perpetrator of
I hope you
certain acts.
enjoy.
But he certainly was an enabler because he knew at that point about the accusations. This was after these accusations were out there. He can't claim ignorance on the front end. In fact, he himself claimed knowledge and said he discussed me.
Casual dox? Since when is saying a motherfucker's first name doxing? Since the fuck when? I was so under the impression that doxing included like an address or like a fucking social security number or some shit. The fuck out of here. Luigi, you're going nuts. Mama, hey, look at me. Dio dammi la serenità di accettare il costo che non posso cambiare. Il coraggio di cambiare il costo che posso, la stanchezza di capire la differenza. You fucking bitch.
And then we find out, well, that didn't stop him from going to the island and who knows how many times. So, we know what we know, but we don't know what we don't know because so much has been redacted. This cover-up continues. So, look, I'm all for accountability. This whole Epstein file, though, it's all about just the elites protecting the elites. It just goes to the worst of what our instincts were. That there's
Dude,
certain
she's
set of
going
rules
nuts.
for the
She's going nuts. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you fucking doing? What even is this? Whoa. Ooh. All right, let me give her blanket. Blanket. Fucking dog, man. no matter how bad of a girl she is, I'm just happy to see her moving around and running and jumping. You know what I mean?
And then the rest of us. And Trump is sort of the manifestation of that. Lutnick falls nightly,
Thanks for the $5.
very nicely knitted into that as well. And so I really like what Asaf said. I'm going to Georgia next, about this Epstein class. It was very resonant because it sort of captures, it layers so much of this mosaic that's being knitted. But Lutnick needs, I think, to come clean, and he needs to explain himself a hell of a lot more than he has.
It was the lies that were so damn offensive. The fact that he lied to the face of the American people, 3 weeks after they lied to our faces about Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy. It is just straight gaslighting from this administration. They're asking us not to believe our own eyes. And I guess coming over the Democrats for a second, my team and I talk a lot about how the Democrats for the past decade have been unified by our opposition to Donald Trump, and we need something affirmative. We need something we can fight
Chatter
for.
goes, yo, I recognize this guy. He sold me snake oil last week.
In your state of California, CalRx has been something that you've been pushing the envelope on. Insulin is down to $11. Is that what it is?
Yeah, the first, we just did our own, what we call CalRx, so it's our own branded insulin. We're not subsidizing it. We're just lowering the cost. And by the way, that distinction for Democrats is an incredibly important one. We don't want to subsidize the inefficiencies of the system. We want to use, dare I say, free enterprise, capitalist tendencies as a government and compete.
Yo, you know what you guys do want to see? This is nowhere near as interesting as his fucking convo with Hassan. Hold on. This shit was so fucking annoying. Where is it? Let's check Hassan's main page. Yeah, no, the combo with Hassan was genuinely hard to watch.
All right, Adam, welcome to the broadcast. I think we're going to have a wonderful and productive...
I'm getting at here.
Yeah.
I think there was a very solid answer you could have given that didn't outrage the liberals on to do during the Jennifer Welch podcast. And I want to keep returning to that conversation that you had, because you said in the conversation at that point it doesn't even matter, but you at this point mean it was out of your hands, right?
Yeah.
Can you clarify, what do you mean it was out of your hand?
Let me show you the clip that they're talking about too. Let me see if I could find this. See if I can find this. Sam Piker says he would vote third party. If between Gavin and JD, if one of you can find me that clip, let me know. Why are people calling Hassan a GOP plant? Oh, those people are fucking retarded. All right, here's the clip.
For him. Disappointed in
Who
Gavin
do you vote
Newsom.
for, J.D. Vance or Gavin Newsom?
Well, I'd have to vote for Gavin Newsom,
Me
of course,
too.
100%.
I wouldn't blink.
There's no
What
doubt.
about you, Hassan?
I'd probably vote third party.
You would?
Oh, yeah. I mean, at that point, it doesn't even matter. Like, because my policy on this is the same as, like, my refusal to endorse Kamala Harris. The reason why I did not endorse Kamala Harris was because she did things that were not only unproductive, but also unconscionable.
Thanks for becoming a loyalist.
And I still stand on that. I still talk about it all the time because people constantly bring it up. They're like, you didn't sufficiently like promote Kamala.
Hassan went snowflake on Goat Chappelle going to perform for MBS. I don't know what you mean by he went snowflake, but no, anybody who performs for Mohammed bin Salman or the Saudi royal family should be blacklisted from our society. You know, like, for example, I fucking love Bill Burr. But when Bill Burr went to go perform at that Saudi festival, I immediately stopped listening to him. I unsubscribed to him on everything, and I refuse to listen to that motherfucker. If you are willing to just look away from literal fucking slavery, then nah, you don't deserve anything. I'm not gonna fucking watch your shit. I'm not gonna support you at all ever again. Thank you for the $20. To everyone on the tube, double check if you're subscribed. My whole account unsub to everything on Saturday. Love y'all. Oh, geez. So I don't, that sucks, but thank you for the $20. I don't know what you mean by Hassan went snowflake, but if Hassan is like pissed at Chappelle for performing in front of MBS, I'm also pissed at Chappelle. Granted, I've been pissed at Chappelle for a long time. Dave Chappelle used to be funny. He used to be funny. And then he took this whole like right-wing grift and started jumping on the transphobia train because he thought that was comedy. But no, he hasn't been funny in like 10 years. The Saudis still practice slavery? Yes. So now here's the thing. We also practice slavery, but our slavery is at least hidden behind walls in a fucking prison labor camp, right? Versus the Saudis, they have open slavery. They have open slavery. It's not even hidden at all. So anyway, this is the clip.
Harris, you're the reason why she lost.
This is the clip that got Mockler so fucking pissed off.
So just and I also talked about like my refusal to endorse Kamala Harris as well.
Says mad disagree, but okay. Well, how do you disagree? How are you going to excuse a bunch of people going over to the Saudi royal family and performing in front of them knowing that they have slave markets and committed a fucking genocide in, what was it, Lebanon or Yemen? I think it was Lebanon. I'm pretty sure the Saudis committed a genocide in Lebanon. Oh, it was Yemen. 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 I had it right the second time. I had it right the second time. How can you excuse that?
Well, and we can get into that too. What I mean by that is exactly what I said in the 2024 election, where it was like, you can't, as a singular individual, or even with like the entire might of the media behind you, outflank the actual campaign.
How do you excuse them performing here on stolen land then? There's no shot you're trying to equate a fucking genocide that was committed in the United States of America 200 years ago to current open slave markets in Saudi Arabia. There's no shot you're trying to equate those two, bro. What we did to the Native Americans is absolutely fucking abhorrent. But that was 250 fucking years ago. The fuck? Oh my God. So how do you get past that they are also performing for killers here on stolen land? Please tell me what show, like, okay, so if you can tell me a comedian that has performed in front of Donald Trump and his cabinet, I'll immediately disavow them. Immediately I'll disavow them. The fuck? The native genocide is still happening? Oh my fucking God, libs. Jesus Christ, guys. Siren, you gotta be so fucking for real with yourself. What we are doing to the Native Americans on reservations is completely different than the fucking Trail of Tears, or from moving into their land and slaughtering them in mass for literally decades. We are in a completely different phase. You guys need to be so fucking for real with yourselves.
So if Gavin Newsom is running as the Gavin Newsom that we know so far, you know, he'll say certain things like, oh, I refuse to take money from AIPAC. Great. But then when push comes to shove, like, he will still be inconsistent on the issue of Israel. He won't like fully subscribe to you know, punishing Israeli leadership, or fully subscribe to like refusing any sort of arms sales to Israel. And outside of Israel, of course, you know, beholden to corporate interest when it comes to like the real estate lobby, anti-Medicare for all. If he runs as that, okay, there's no amount of advocacy that
$5. Dave Chappelle is hilarious. Wrong. White libs are mad at him now for being max left. No, I'm mad at him for being transphobic and not funny. And now performing in Saudi Arabia. Don't attack the art because you disagree with his politics. No, his art is bad. He used to be fucking hilarious. He has not been funny in 10 fucking years, bro. I could play some Dave Chappelle comedy. I guarantee you none of you will even crack a giggle.
I can engage in that will make him look better. I can consistently talk about how much worse the Republican side is going to be.
You were asked if you would vote for him. And I'm not even saying you should have said yes in that moment, but you were asked, would you vote for him? And you said at that point, it doesn't even matter. Here's what I'm getting at here. Yeah. I think there was a very solid answer you could have given that didn't outrage the liberals online as much. And I know that a lot of people flung a lot of shit at you on Twitter. That's always what happens. But yeah, I think there was an answer where you could have been like, listen, I refuse to pre-commit to any candidate 2 years ahead of a primary. They have to earn my
Somebody
votes.
said, I believe Tony Hinchcliffe performed for Donald Trump. Exactly. That guy's already a piece of shit. I've already disavowed Tony Hinchcliffe. That whole like Rogan sphere, Joe Rogan, Bert Kreischer, the only one who's a good person in the Rogan sphere is Joey Diaz. Other than that, they're all fucking tools for the Republican Party. They're fleshlights for Donald Trump.
And that's what I want to see. And I totally get you're on stream like 8 hours a day. You're not always going to say everything perfectly. But here's where a lot of liberals online are mad. And here's where we're all kind of talking.
Oh, and Stavi. But I wouldn't consider Stavi to be in that circle.
Past each other. I see a lot of people online saying all liberals want us to line up behind Gavin Newsom 2 years before a primary. And that's not even the argument that any of us are making. I think where a lot of liberals have problems with the way you speak about the Democratic Party is that you try to minimize the gap between the Democratic and Republican Party. So I can totally grant that you meant to say like, well, you were asked, you were asked, would you vote for J.D. Vance or Gavin Newsom? You said, I'd vote third party. At that point, it doesn't even matter. It feels like you're drawing a false equivalency. And then a few days later, you basically said, Gavin Newsom will only be marginally better than whatever Republican candidate there is.
Correct.
You said,
that's because Gavin Newsom is pro-Silicon Valley, pro-billionaire. He does not give a fuck about the working class.
Democrats have literally written you out of existence regarding trans people.
Wait, did you see the rest of that quote?
I watched the video, but yeah, I watched what's the rest of the quote?
Did you hear me say that marginal differences between each candidacy, like marginal differences between two parties, leads to drastically different outcomes for marginalized populations? Having said that, however, from the eye of like a voter, they don't make that distinction at all, especially if they are coming at it from a privileged position. If it doesn't like attack, if it doesn't harm them at all, and not only
have you ever ripped into Theo Vaughn? Yeah, no, I fucking hate Theo Vaughn, dude. He's an actual class traitor. It's disgusting. He's also a race traitor. I'm pretty sure. What is he? He's Guatemalan or some shit. Meanwhile, he was like licking Trump's taint and advocating for ICE, and like the guy's a fucking piece of shit. And then as soon as he started to see the consequences of his actions, he starts getting on his knees, groveling, begging for fucking sympathy.
So you're kind of conflating two things. When you say there's a marginal difference between the two parties, I think that signals to people that either way they vote, it doesn't really matter that much. That's how people take that. When you say trans people you said like Democrats would shoot trans people in the back of the head, that signals that Democrats aren't really that different than Republicans, when that's not true. There's not a marginal difference between Democrats and Republicans. There's a very meaningful difference. If it was like Obama versus McCain and you said there's a marginal difference,
I said
fine.
Democrats would.
Plenty Simp said go to 5 minutes and 30 seconds. What is this?
It's a bad.
Rage that's keeping you interacted on our platform. Oh, since you don't have enough rage, then don't worry. We have people on your own side that you also don't agree with. You 1% of the time you two disagree. So here's that 1%. It's all we're going to show you, which is why I have a question, which is a question I have directly for California Governor Gavin Newsom, which is if J.D. Vance is the if J.D. Vance is the presidential nominee in 2028, would Gavin Newsom vote for Hassan Piker? I want to know. I think inquiring minds want to know. Gavin Newsom, who next person, listen, the next time a right-wing pundit sits down with Gavin Newsom on Gavin Newsom's own podcast, they should ask Gavin Newsom, would you vote for Hassan Piker? I think that is the direction we need to
I gotta get on this show, bro. They both follow me. I've talked to both of these motherfuckers. I gotta get on this show.
Because it was just stupid. It's just been a stupid thing all weekend. It was a hypothetical question asked on a podcast that was then clipped and then spread around everywhere to enrage people. Like Hassan didn't clip it. I've Had It podcast didn't clip it. It was a third party of people who don't like either of them who clipped it to then go, fuck you to everybody else, to then make everybody get enraged at each other so then everyone could have content to talk about. And then it gets thrown over into the streamerverse. And then all the streamers then clip it. And then they all have something to talk about. This way, nobody has to talk about what's actually happening in the world, which is that we are being run by a cabal of elite pedophiles who all just emailed crimes to each other all day. That guy.
If you guys vote third party just because of Newsom, you deserve J.D. Vance and whatever Heritage Foundation has in store. I know you're frustrated, but it's better to work with Newsom than resist Vance. The fact that you are already on your knees pledging fealty to Gavin Newsom is the reason why we will never have an actual opposition party in this fucking nation. You are already subservient subservient to the neoliberal choice. And the election is 3 years away. Sorry, 2 years away, bro. You have already fallen for the manufactured consent of, hey, we're not getting socialism, you're not getting free healthcare, you're not getting universal basic income, you're not getting any of this shit. But Gavin Newsom's pretty good. You are the fucking reason we can't make progress. Holy fucking shit.
Boring. So,
all right, enough of this, enough of that.
It's exaggeration. Democrats would kill trans people if it meant securing a
fucking submissive ass, baby back, pussy ass men. Oh my God, it's pathetic.
Electoral votes. And that's not an argument that like Democrats are going to run on a policy of killing trans people. It's a hyperbolic statement about Democrats cutting out trans people, which, as you saw probably in this last week, in the aftermath of the fucking neo-Nazi MAGA dad, or not MAGA dad, the trans shooter that was a fucking huge neo-Nazi, who's apparently his son was also a neo-Nazi, who's in prison as well, which is, you know, not very shocking. There were a lot of people floating around bad polls about, not bad necessarily from a, like the polls are fine, but they were polls that made it seem as though the trans issue is something that we as Democrats should not actually advocate for. It was Laksha Jain. And I always go back to obviously the first week after the Kamala Harris election defeat, where a bunch of prominent Democrats who got yelled at, to be fair, by other Democrats in the caucus, but a bunch of prominent Democrats went on television and immediately were like, we lost because of the trans stuff. They put a lot of overemphasis in the Kamala Harris is going to give bottom surgeries to Guatemalan transgender prisoners in immigrant detention facilities. My argument always is, if the Democrats actually put forth policies that people have to attack, like the Republicans have to...
I already watched this entire 2 hour and 4 minute long debate, but I'm letting you know, literally zero progress is made to the point where I'm going to go to like here, an hour, and I promise you they're going to be talking about the exact same thing. Watch.
Important point for Kamala Harris to pivot away, go back to the drawing board, and potentially come out with a more bold vision for change. They didn't do that. And that was that's precisely what I mean when I say it's impossible for me to outflank $1 billion of ad spend, Taylor Swift endorsements, Beyonce endorsements. I'm not saying I'm a small bean and I'm just like utterly irrelevant. Of course.
No, we're not. I don't even think you can change the results of the election. That's not even what I claim.
That's what a lot of people yell at me over. They make it seem like I was the singular kingmaker or something.
That's really dumb. And any liberals saying that, dumb. Any liberals saying that you need to line up behind Gavin Newsom, what the hell? It's 2 years out. Why do you think so many liberals were mad at that Jennifer Welch clip? Like, what's your steel, man? If I could ask.
What do I think about it?
Like, no. Why do you think so many liberals on Twitter
It's the same. It's the same reason why everyone said the Bernie Bros were the reason why Hillary Clinton lost. It's the same reason why people still say third-party voters are the reason why Kamala Harris lost. Even though, if all third-party voters, I'm sure you know, voted for Kamala Harris, she still wouldn't have won the election. It's people looking for an alternative. It's not that their vision of what the Democratic Party should be doing is incorrect entirely.
By the way, let me explain something to you guys. You have heard the phrase "vote blue no matter who" for a very long time. If you live by that, we will never improve. You are telling the Democrat Party that they don't need to actually improve the material conditions of the working class, that you will simply vote for them for being a Democrat. That is the very definition of being in a cult, bro. You can't do that. Just because somebody's a Democrat does not mean they have your fucking best interests in mind. You need to find a candidate who actually has your best interests in mind and bolster them up. And if the fucking DNC doesn't use them as the nominee, make your voice fucking heard by not voting for the piece of shit. Christ almighty.
It must be something else. So they're just looking to blame someone else. And I'm fine being that guy. If they want to blame...
honestly disagree. I think a lot of the liberals I talk to and a lot of the people in my audience don't think what you just said. I've got a massive liberal audience online.
Yeah,
I didn't ask them about this. I don't know. But I genuinely think a lot of the criticism I saw on Twitter goes back to the conversation that I was kind of trying to, like, not pin you down, but I was kind of trying to return to it over and over, is the way that you word these things on your stream. I genuinely think liberals take problem with that. I mean, yeah, some people will be looking for a scapegoat and will say that third-party voters like cost Hillary the election or cost Kamala the election. I mean, it's not... I don't think it's true.
No, Hillary cost herself the election and Kamala cost herself the election by running the worst fucking campaigns in American history.
Case of Kamala, but I think that no one expects you to change the results of the election, or maybe not no one. No reasonable person expects you to change the results of the election. No reasonable person expects you to jump up and down and start throating Gavin Newsom 2 years before we even have our candidates there. Like, no reasonable person is going to say, if you would have said, I refuse to pre-commit to any candidate, and I want to use my leverage, and I want to make sure that we have an ideological battle, and I want to come out on top, I'm not going to commit to anyone, I think you could have minimized the amount of liberal damage. And you did explain right after why you didn't vote for Kamala and how it was the same.
The clip was the clip.
Now watch. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go here. This is now an hour and 40 minutes in. Exact same conversation.
That's what I think, at least. Or
yeah, I mean, I want to say on that note, like, I see that you've been talking a lot about Chorus on your timeline too. I know a lot of Chorus creators who are very pro Tallarico, so I don't think they're being paid to be pro Crockett. I think
no. I don't think Chorus has like a whip over all of their creators at all. I don't think they're like, you have to go out and like attack Hassan.
I think there's a lot of
whatever.
unfair attacks against Chorus. I get it. I'm not even a part of Chorus. I've never taken money from them.
$5. Chris, can you please talk about the arrest of Peter Mandelson and the state interference in the UK from the USA revealed in the files? I will check that out. I have some other links I want to cover first.
When they launched,
I'm talking about Mexico after this.
It's a pretty solid group that is not funded by Israelis. I don't know. There's a lot of really pro-Palestine people in the group.
I don't know who's in the group. That's kind of part of the, well, we don't know exactly who's in the group, and we don't know who's.
Some people have openly talked about it and have said that there's like, there's people who have said openly that they're part of Chorus and have also called Joe Biden Genocide Joe. I see a lot of people in my comments always asking me, like, are you taking Chorus money? Is that why you're such a liberal or whatever? And it's like, no, I mean, I don't think, I think there's a lot of really unfair attacks of Chorus when it's just
I think Chorus is a good answer to like the daily.
Seriously, this is boring. I know that's what I said, and I'm not the only one. I think in the comments everyone's like, yeah, this is like the least productive conversation I've ever fucking heard. Yep, I agree with you, but I don't like your tone. That's pretty much the entire point that Adam is trying to make. Fucking useless ass conversation there, I'll tell you that much. All right, I'm going to record this part. Real quick. Hold on. Yeah. All right, real quick. Let me just record this. Here we go. There's complete and utter chaos in Mexico right now because the Mexican military and the American military in a joint operation took out one of the heads of the most dangerous cartels in all of Mexico. I think his name is El Mencho. That's not his fucking name. That's his cartel name. And because of that, I don't know exactly which cartel it is, but they have been going buck wild, burning down parts of the cities, I think specifically in Guadalajara, targeting American tourists who are in the region, murdering motherfuckers, unloading AK rounds at airports. I mean, taking people hostage. It's absolutely fucking bonkers. Now, it's called the CJNG. That's the name of the cartel. I don't know what that stands for, but listen, there's a big problem in Mexico that we've talked about before, which is that it's called the Jalisco New Generation. That's the name of the cartel. That's crazy. Jalisco New Generation Cartel. Crazy. But what it is really is there's a big problem in Mexico, which is that the Mexican Special Forces, the Mexican military, the Mexican government, the Mexican police, a lot of them work hand in hand with the cartels, right? And now Trump and his fascist dogmen are using that as an opportunity to completely violate Mexico's sovereignty, despite the fact that their president, Claudia Sheinbaum, has been doing everything that she can to address the cartel problem without like waging complete and total war, which would bring about more suffering towards the Mexican people, as we have seen. Now, I've got a little clip here from CNN that I want to cover, get a little bit more extra details for you here. But before we do, don't forget, hi, how are you? I'm Chris Valenti. Welcome to the Valenti Videos broadcast. Welcome to the Valenti VOD. This is real independent media. I have no advertisers, no sponsors. I've never had a conversation with a government or a billionaire or a PAC or any of that shit. So if you do want to support this channel financially, please do. You could buy merch like the Democratic Socialist posters behind me or the Duty Calls. We've also got mugs. We've got hoodies. We got all that jazz. We got girly pop merch merch coming up soon. Sluts for Socialism. That's going to be a new merch line. You can also click the thanks button down below to tip me directly. You can click the join button down below to become a member. That'll give you early access to the videos, and it'll give you access to some pretty cool emotes. And you can become a patron on Patreon. Big shouts out to everybody who's ever donated to the channel. And last but not least, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Costs you nothing, helps me immensely. But without further ado, let's educate ourselves a little bit on what's going on in Mexico.
Violence has erupted across Mexico following the killing of the country's most wanted drug leader, known as El Mencho, in a military operation on Sunday. You can see smoke billowing.
So real quick, you're going to hear most mainstream media, whether it be Fox, CNN, MSNBC, it doesn't really matter. They are going to call it a military operation or a Mexican military operation. They are outright refusing to address the fact that this is a joint military operation with American intelligence leading the charge and potentially even American boots on the ground for this.
To the sky there in this resort town on Mexico's Pacific coast. A witness says fires are ongoing and smell like burning rubber. Officials say suspected members of...
Shatter just says, I feel like Trump will use this as an excuse to invade Mexico. Yeah, that's the point. Why do you, like, just so you understand, there is no shot in hell that the Mexicans and the Americans did not know this would be the reaction. They do extensive research on their fucking targets. They knew damn well that if they killed this fucking guy, there would be mass unrest, people would be slaughtered, Claudia Sheinbaum would look like a fucking moron. All of this is to sow manufactured consent for American military intervention in Mexico. It is the Don Roe doctrine. He has said this fucking abundantly clear. He said this months ago, or like 2 months ago, where he goes, we're about to begin land operations on the cartels, and the cartels, they operate in Mexico. He is saying, Trump has been saying for a long time that we are going to invade Mexico. So this a million fucking times.
Organized crime groups unleashed the wave of violence after the death of El Mencho. He was a former police officer who was one of the world's most wanted traffickers. He led the powerful Jalisco New Generation Cartel, or the CJNG. CNN's Valeria Leon has more details for us.
Fire, smoke, and chaos across several Mexican states. Cities brought to a standstill as criminal groups retaliate after Mexico's most wanted drug leader died following a military operation Sunday.
They said it again, following a military operation. They're refusing to address the fact that the American military was involved in this shit.
Drivers forced out of their cars at gunpoint. Trucks and buses set on fire. Nemesio Oseguera Cervantes, a former police officer known to most as El Mencho, was the leader of the Jalisco New Generation Cartel.
Bro, this is why I always tell people when they talk shit about the cartels, because like for some reason, dumbass Americans feel like if we went to war with the cartels, we would just like destroy them in 24 hours. Bro, the cartels are armed with American weaponry. They have tanks and helicopters, bro. This isn't like fighting against Hamas, bro. They are armed with American weaponry. They are former special forces. They are not just like some ragtag group. And there's multiple cartels. And if you invaded Mexico and went to war with any of those cartels, they would all ally together. You would have a super cartel, bro, that would be more deadly than the fucking Mexican special forces because they don't have to operate under the rules of war. They'd just be doing whatever the fuck they wanted.
To most as El Mencho was the leader of the...
Look at this shit. These are armored tanks with multiple machine guns on it. It's a fucking M203 grenade launcher. He's got a round drum mag. It's a fucking heavy machine gun, dude.
Mexican military operation and later...
The only way you could win this war against cartels is by indiscriminately bombing Mexico. Where do you think the cartels are? They think they got a castle at the top of a mountain and everyone in there's the evil cartel? Bro, they live amongst the people. They are the people. They live among them. What are you gonna do? You're just gonna slaughter fucking Mexicans to get a couple of cartel leaders?
Died while being transported to Mexico City. The U.S. played a role in Sunday's operation.
Shit, they said it! The U.S. played a role in Sunday's operation. I'm actually surprised that they were willing to say that out loud.
According to U.S. defense officials, though it's unclear to what extent. As fears
It's unclear to what extent, bro. Oh my God.
Spread, many Mexicans spoke out calling for an end to the violence.
People are aware of this violence, and what they want is peace, to live in harmony and justice, not in war.
Blockades were reported across various states, and classes were suspended in at least 3 states as officials tried to contain the violence and keep civilians off the streets.
I'm tired of seeing this continue every single day.
Under El Mencho's command, the cartel expanded rapidly, challenging rivals like the Sinaloa cartel for control of territory and trafficking routes.
Wait, if this cartel was able to rival the Sinaloa cartel and they're a fairly new cartel, I'm gonna call it now. I think this is a CIA-run cartel. That's not the first time we've done this shit. That is not the first time we've done this shit, dude. I feel like this is CIA orchestrated, like funded and shit. We've done this a million fucking times. We fund opposition groups. I think it's step 2 in the 5 steps to a coup d'etat. Step 1, label the enemy as a threat to democracy. Step 2, arm, fund, and control the opposition. This is too well armed and too fast. I'd never even heard of this fucking cartel before. The Sinaloa cartel has been controlling Mexico for a dog's age, bro. This has got to be CIA orchestrated, sow chaos and confusion and blame Claudia Sheinbaum and the Mexican government. 100% I'm calling it now.
According to U.S. and Mexican officials, El Mencho managed to avoid capture for years. His detention and death is one of the most significant blows to organized crime in recent years, and the first high-profile operation under President Claudia Sheinbaum. The fall of El Mencho may mark a major security milestone, but with tourism, foreign investment, and security for the 2026 World Cup at stake, the world is watching how Mexico handles what comes next. Valeria Leon, CNN, Mexico City.
Bro, the fact that these are cartel members and not the police is baffling.
Well, the violence across Mexico has left some American tourists who've been asked to remain indoors stranded. Travis Dejanay from Los Angeles is stuck in Puerto Vallarta and joins us now. Travis, thank you.
The CJNG has been around for decades. They were just overshadowed by Sinaloa. Well, that's what I'm saying, is that the fact that they were able to grow this fast, I mean, I refuse to believe that that doesn't include American involvement. Granted, we already know that all of these cartels work hand in hand with Americans, right? American drug traffickers, right? They will trade weapons to the cartels for the drugs that they bring into the United States. Don't forget that it's between 85 and 95% of all drugs that are confiscated on the southern border, those are being smuggled in by American citizens. We get way less scrutiny going back and forth across the border. It's not like the coyotes are like giving a couple bags of cocaine to like random people who are crossing the border. No, they're loading up American vehicles with American drivers with fucking pounds after pounds after pounds of drugs to smuggle them over. And in exchange, the Americans are giving them American weaponry. That's why they're so deadly.
Thank you so much for being with us. We are so sorry that you and, of course, the locals are going through all of this. What is it like where you are right now? Can you just describe the atmosphere and what you've been seeing so far?
Sure. Thank you, Ben. At the very moment, it's about 11:10 p.m. It's eerily quiet outside. And I say that listening from my windows, not from the streets, because we have been locked down for the duration of the day. It's been a day filled with anxiety. It started very fast and very loud. There was a bit of an information vacuum for the first few hours. There was a lot of anecdotal and social media reporting, so to speak, filling in some of those gaps for people. But we really were counting on each other to report to each other what you're seeing on the street. We shared a lot of videos, a lot of photo, and it was pretty terrifying. There were some sites that I personally saw just outside my Airbnb unit that I would have never have imagined. It really did look and feel like a war zone. And I think that feeling of anxiety, that feeling of what does happen next or what could happen next is driving what a lot of people are feeling right now. At the very moment, though, the streets, from what I can tell and from what I'm reading on social media, are quite quiet. So I think we're all in a little bit of a holding pattern to see what does or what could happen next.
And to see a shelter-in-place warning in what should be a vibrant touristy area, what was your first reaction when things started happening?
Bro, that's like an American gunship. And I'm pretty sure I saw footage of these fucking guys unloading rounds. Like, that's a minigun unloading rounds into the fucking street, taking out the cartels.
Unprecedented, I think, is the word that a lot of people would use. I've been coming up Puerto Vallarta for years, and it's a city in a country that I love immensely. It's a beautiful city filled with warm, generous people. And it's also a place where Canadian tourists, American tourists, and tourists from around the world do see a safe haven, a bit of a paradise. So it is jarring to have that contrast, and especially when you see some of the
Yeah, dude. So Chatter just goes, bro, the cartels have rocket launchers, dude. And the thing is, I know some of you are thinking of like a free fire rocket. Nah, dude, the cartels have stingers. Like they can lock on to that helicopter and the missile will follow. They have they have helicopters, bro. Like and armed ones, not like a fucking news chopper, dude.
visuals, some of the sites that actually do look like a war zone in a place that has been celebrated as such a paradise, it has been, of course, very jarring. And again, the speed and the loudness with which it all happened was literally alarming. You didn't really have time to think about like what's happening. You really just want to see what's on the ground, see what's out your window.
Well, these pictures we're seeing while you're speaking are very, very scary. So sorry you're going through that.
Oh, come on. Listen, maybe I'm desensitized by the footage of Hamas and Israel and shit, but this is not very scary, dude. There's 2 buses on fire. I've seen a thermobaric bomb go off and literally evaporate 600 Gazans.
People actually following the shelter-in-place warnings, or have you seen some movement and activity regardless of that?
Guarantee you dumbass fucking Americans are like, I don't really care about the shelter-in-place. I want to go see the view.
There has been some movement. I've been going out on the balcony of my unit just to see what's going on, mostly during the day. And around 4 or 5 in the afternoon, you did start to see more and more people start to venture out. And I actually got in the elevator of my building, and there was another pair of tourists in the elevator, and we all were kind of deciding, like, thinking about, do we want to go out? Do we want to try to see what's open? Especially with lack of food and in some cases lack of drinkable water. People are really starting to wonder and ask, when will it be safe for me to go out and explore? When will it be safe for me to maybe go to a store? Will the stores be open? Is it safe for employees to get here? I think those are all questions we're dealing with. Generally, though, I am seeing a great deal of respect for the lockdown and the shelter-in-place measure. And I think that's evidenced by what we're reading on social media right now. People saying the streets sound so quiet, the city sounds so quiet.
These pictures are insane. My goodness. Can you just tell us more about the violence that people are seeing firsthand? Tourists seeing these roadblocks and burned vehicles and a heavy military presence suddenly. It's mad.
Absolutely. I woke up to what I thought was a building demolition happening next door. And when I looked outside, I hadn't yet seen, there were some cars diagonally parked in some of the major intersections around my unit. And within maybe 90 minutes to 2 hours, each of those was lit on fire. And I actually did see I saw and heard and smelled a group of criminals set a car on fire and run. So the city does smell like burnt rubber at the moment. I went up to the roof of my building and it was...
Just so you understand, they're not going to show the footage that like you can see on Twitter, bro. I watched a video of the fucking cartels have a guy tied to a tree and they burnt him alive with a flamethrower. Okay? Like, shit's getting really bad and they're not going to show you that footage online. I saw footage of one of those gunships at the fucking minigun literally unloading into the fucking city, probably targeting cartel members. Like, this shit has gotten so bad, so fucking fast, and it's only gonna get worse.
There's a thin layer of ash and some embers around, and you just see...
Chatter just says, well, why don't we send our flying Doritos? I bet the cartels wouldn't be able to take it down before it's too late. Because why the fuck should I send my military, my young boys, to go to fucking Mexico and deal with their problems? Guys, why are we so interventionist? Why are we so imperialist? This is not your fucking problem. This is Mexico's fucking problem, dude. Holy shit.
Multiple plumes of smoke in the sky, in the horizon throughout the day. And that was one of the other eerie parts, seeing that you could visually spot the spread in the number of violent cases going on at any one time. And you definitely still feel and smell that hanging in the air. So it is quite jarring. The noise, the visuals, the light, the sound, all of it, and especially the...
So just so you understand what's happening right now. Okay, let's think. Step 1, label the enemy as a threat to democracy. We've already done that when it comes to Mexico and their dealings with the cartels. Fund, arm, and control the opposition. It seems like the CIA has already done that with this cartel. The third one is going to be, what is it? What is step 3? Oh, make their economy scream, okay? So I'll bet that Trump increases the sanctions and the tariffs on Mexico in specific for not being able to properly combat their cartels. You know what I'm saying? That's step 3. Step 4 is to then manufacture consent for American military intervention, right? We'll probably start to see that soon, especially if an American tourist is killed or taken hostage. And then step 5 is American boots on the ground, American military intervention. It looks like we're on step 3 right now for Mexico. By the way, those 5 steps, you can apply those to Iraq, Afghanistan, Venezuela, Nicaragua, Colombia, Cuba. It doesn't matter. This is how we do coup d'etats.
Suddenness with which it came on this morning, I think it really did alarm a lot of people.
And I guess a big question is, when are you expecting that this situation is going to change? When are you hoping that the situation is going to change? Because this is quite a wild current timeline that you're going through.
Absolutely. I hope that it would change tomorrow. I hope that tomorrow we're able to feel, all of us, feel some degree of normalcy in safety in this beautiful, incredible city. That said, I also understand a lot of us are dealing with the in-the-moment reaction. When is my flight going to be delayed? When am I going to be able to find a meal? When am I going to be able to find a way back to my home? And if I can't find those answers, what are the other answers? What can I do in the meantime? So I think we're all trying to deal with this with a certain degree of patience and understanding things that are beyond the individual's control.
Dude, only fucking fat-bodied American tourists are like, wait, but my flight is gonna be delayed. While some guy's being burnt to death with a fucking flamethrower tied to a tree. But my flight is gonna be delayed.
Also, we're very hungry for information. We're very interested in any sort of official information that can help us make some of these decisions. And that also has been difficult because there is an immense amount of counter-information that's in circulation. Is the airport closed or not? Is the airport under control or not? Each of these is a node in a network of decisions that we're all trying to make and all trying to have a certain amount of grace around while also maintaining safety in the moment. So it certainly is a lot going on, and I really hope that everybody in this city,
I'm pretty sure there might be a clip or 2 on Twitter that I can show you. What is it? Mexican content creator in airport when cartel comes in. I saw this earlier. I wonder if I could find it for you. Maybe not. Mexican influencer, Guadalajara airport. You guys probably saw this clip earlier. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to find it. I guess not. Cartels in Mexico going crazy. Bro's like, yeah, no, but what about my flight, son? Here, this is some footage from it. That's so much fucking smoke, dude. Now I'm gonna have to not share screen while I scroll through these because a lot of this shit is so unbelievably violent. Here's a Costco being burnt down. That's stupid loud. A lot of gunshots going off. Oh, this is that cartel. This is from a while ago. Let's see. This is the actual cartel that's doing all the damage. This is how armed they are, bro. Extremely heavily armed vehicles. By the way, if you were an American tourist, you would not think this was a cartel if they came rolling through. Hundo P, they would think that this is the actual Mexican Special Forces. They're all saying Senor Mencho. They're all praising their leader. Senor Mencho, Senor Mencho. He's fucking dead now, bro. These people are gonna be tight. Dude, look how far back it goes. Chatter just says, I can fix them. Y'all are fucked up. Y'all are fucked up. All right, I think there's a little bit of news here from Reuters regarding this, and then we'll probably cut the video here. Let's get a look. All righty. Excuse me. President Claudia Sheinbaum has been under mounting pressure from Washington to intensify her offensive against drug cartels blamed for producing and smuggling drugs, particularly the synthetic opioid fentanyl across the border to the U.S. They don't produce fentanyl in Mexico. They produce that in China, and then it's brought over to South America and then smuggled over the borders, primarily through regular ports of entry. Osaguera, 59, the mastermind of the powerful Jalisco New Generation cartel, died in custody after being injured in a military operation by Mexican special forces in the town of Tapalpa in Mexico's Jalisco state, according to the Mexican Defense Ministry. His corpse arrived in Mexico City on Sunday afternoon in a heavily guarded convoy of National Guard troops. Reuters has reported on Sunday that a new U.S. military-led task force played a role in the raid, led and carried out by Mexican forces. White House Press Secretary Caroline No-Lip-Levitt later posted on social media that the United States provided intelligence support. Okay, so this means that we definitely were involved, boots on the ground. If she's saying that we were only involved in intelligence, that 1,000% means that we were also on the ground. Levitt added that the Trump regime, quote, commends and thanks the Mexican military for their cooperation and successful execution of this operation. After reports of El Mencho's death, cartel henchmen blockaded highways with burning cars and torched businesses in more than half a dozen states, paralyzing parts of the country. No civilian deaths have been reported. In Jalisco's popular beach resort of Puerto Vallarta, frightened tourists on social media described a war zone as plumes of dark smoke rose into the sky from around the bay. Air Canada, United Airlines, Aeromexico, and American Airlines suspended flights in the area. That's so fucked, bro. All these Americans who went over there for shits and giggles are now stuck. What is this? Oh, somebody in chat just said the cartels didn't enter the airports. Oh, eat shit.
Son momentos bastante complicados. Los grupos de la delincuencia organizada acaban de entrar.
Somebody in chat just said they weren't moving with enough urgency for me. Where are they gonna go? They're in an airport and none of the planes are flying, bro. Like, where are they gonna go? You might as well be an ant in a fucking anthill, like a what is it called, a terrarium or some shit like that. Like, where are you gonna go? Chris, my mom has to take a business meeting in Mexico. Should I tell her not to go? Yeah, dude, you should probably tell her not to go. If I'm being honest, this is a very light reaction, right? Am I the only one who thinks is that the fact that there's no civilian deaths, this is kind of a light reaction.
Look, now we're scared. We only go out when it's necessary because people don't know whether to go out or what to do.
Yeah, this is 1000% CIA orchestrated. All right, listen. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti VOD. If you're watching this live, you stay. We are not finished yet. But pre-recorded watchers, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Costs you nothing, helps me immensely. And feel free to donate to the channel in any possible way. And you could buy merch. You could do everything I told you to do in the beginning. Every last dollar goes a long way because this is real independent media, entirely grassroots funded by you, the viewer. You have never seen me do an ad read. You will never see me do an ad read. Here's an ad.
Hey there, you! Yeah, you! You tired of your boring, plain old wardrobe? Do you want to stand out in the crowd? You want to make heads turn, jaws drop, and hearts skip a beat? Well, have I got the deal of the century for you? ValentiVideos.myshopify.com is here with the merch explosion that'll blow your socks off and change your life. Check it out! We've got exclusive gear from the cutting edge of fashion. T-shirts, hoodies, mugs, and much more that'll make you be thinking, well, hell, where'd you get that? And guess what? You can get yours right now with just one click. That's right, don't wait. Act now, and you can be a proud owner of the hottest merch on the planet. Whether you're looking to chill out, stand out, or just feel like $1,000,000, we've got something for you. And hey, I know what you're thinking, but what about the price? Well, let me tell you, these prices are so low that you'd think we were giving it away for free. Now, get ready to rock the best merch in town and check out ValentiVideos.myshopify.com for your destination to greatness. I'll see you there, friend. Hurry up.
Chris Valenti Videos is not responsible for any sudden increase in class consciousness that may occur as a result of wearing this merch. If you find yourself beginning to deeply care for your fellow person, quickly continue to wear all products from Valenti Videos as your empathy grows. Drinking from Valenti Videos mugs may invoke a quiet sense of awe for the entirety of humanity as you decide to dedicate the rest of your living existence to the betterment of those who have less than you. Also, you may get a brief but meaningful stiffy. Please enjoy Valenti Videos responsibly.
There's your ad read. And then one last thing. Don't forget to hit that button, click that video right over there. It's a banger. And I know bangers. All right, that was a good one. That was a good one. Let's get that uploaded. Let's get her uploaded, folks. Ooh, yeah. Ooh, let's get it uploaded, folks. That's a banger! Episode 390, folks. Alrighty. A brief but meaningful stiffy. Okay. Hold on. Mexican cartels take to the streets after U.S. and Mexican military operation kills El Mencho. Is that it? El Mencho? Yeah. Mexican cartels take to the streets after U.S. and Mexican military operation kills El Mencho. Mexican cartels burn down cities after the death of their leader. Mexican cartel takes over. CIA orchestrated. Excuse me. All right, we got to wait for the claims to be processed, then we can trim out my millennial pause. Oh, there it is. There's complete and utter chaos. There we go. All right, let's make a quick little advertisement. Luigi, don't be doing that. Don't be doing that, dude. So the snow keeps on falling off. Like, I live in a very tall building. The snow keeps on falling off the roof, and then it comes down and it slaps on my fucking window, and it sounds like somebody's bashing on the fucking window. It's unbelievable. All right, let's make this video. So there's complete and total chaos in Mexico. Luigi, for fuck's sake, I just started recording. There's complete and total chaos in Mexico after a joint operation between the Mexican military and the American military took out the leader of one of these cartels. What is it called? The Jalisco New Generation Cartel, something like that. We took out their leader, El Mencho. And now the cartels are losing their fucking shit, and they're burning down different parts of the cities, and they're opening fire, and their explosions are going off. So far, no civilians have been killed, allegedly. I don't buy that for a fucking second. I mean, we're talking about the cartels of Mexico. But I firmly believe this is all like CIA orchestrated. Now, that's not to say that cartels don't play a huge role in Mexican politics. But this cartel has grown so much, so fast, that they're actually combating against the Sinaloa cartel, who has had like a stranglehold over Mexico for decades, right? So I firmly believe that this is CIA orchestrated, and this is the step 2 in the 5 steps to coup d'etat, right? Step 1 is label your enemy as a threat to democracy. Step 2 is to arm, fund, and control the opposition. I believe that this is the opposition. I believe this is CIA funded. All of their weapons are American, by the way. They've got American weapons. They've got armored vehicles, all American made. They are so highly fucking trained. I'm genuine. And here's the thing. Some Americans believe that it would be a cakewalk to go to war against these cartels, bro. Do you think the cartels live in some fucking castle at the top of a mountain, disconnected from the civilians? They live among the people. They are the fucking people. So if you've already been propagandized and brainwashed enough to support American military intervention, well, that's step 4. That's manufactured consent for American military intervention. I hope you understand the only way we could possibly win that is by indiscriminately bombing Mexican cities. It's the only fucking way. Granted, all Republicans are fucking warmongers. Donald Trump is one of the biggest warmongers of the 20th century. So, 21st century, my apologies. I don't know what to tell you other than I don't buy it. This shit's CIA orchestrated in order to allow the American military to finally infiltrate Mexico. He already said, the guy fucking said we're going to begin land strikes in Mexico. The cartels are there. Oh, he wants to invade and conquer the entirety of South America. The Don Roe Doctrine, they're not even fucking hiding it. Anyway, new YouTube video on this. Go check it out. New YouTube video. There we go. chaos in Mexico. New episode of the Valenti VOD. Bang. Are you able to play basketball? Fuck no. Fuck no, I can't play basketball, bro. I'm Italian. Can't play basketball for shit. Cartels are not the people, they just exploit the people like corporations in the USA. No, cartels are also the Mexican people. I'm not saying that they are good people, but they are absolutely the Mexican people, and they have families, and they live amongst them, and I guarantee you that cartel members are like going to the grocery store. Like, bro, this is just reality that you need to face. They're not like fucking, what do you think they are, super villains? Do you think they're super villains? Yeah, they're not draconian lizards. "16-year-old kid acting saying he ain't gonna get drafted like it won't last 20 fucking years." Yeah, bro, I'm getting drafted. I'm gonna be 37 years old and they're gonna draft me, send me to go fight in Guadalajara. I need to fill up my cup of coffee, all right? I need to fill up my cup of coffee. I'll be right back. Can't find the page you post those new YouTube videos to? Bro, it's this page. It's this page. What do you do if they draft you? I go and then I frag my CO on day one. All right, I'll be right back. All righty. Careful, that Puerto Rican coffee is strong. I know. I usually have 6 cups. I'm only having 2. This is my 2nd cup. I might have a 3rd after this. Who knows? All right, let's see what you got for me on today's Docutussi. Today marks 5 years of the Russia-Ukraine war. That was 5 years ago? Oh, God. Chris, what is fragging? Whoa, what happened? Whoa, what happened to Sarge? Whoa. Oh, whoa. They must have thrown a grenade. There must have been a grenade. Shit. Shit.
It's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. Represented about time,
athletes, things like that, making sure the America that we're trying to represent.
Your rag outlet wrote that he went to hang out at the Olympics on the taxpayer dime, even when he provided information that your theory was false. Oh, yeah. That's so fucking funny, dude. Oh, lordy.
Detail detected that a individual had made his...
Yeah, some fucking gunman showed up to Mar-a-Lago. Republican, by the way. White, by the way. Straight, by the way. Christian, by the way. All because he was tired of the way that Trump is defending pedophiles, because Donald is also a pedophile.
Morning, the security detail detected that a individual had made his way into the inner perimeter of Mar-a-Lago. A deputy and 2 Secret Service agents on the detail went to that area to investigate. They confronted a white male that was carrying a gas can and a shotgun. He was ordered to drop those 2 pieces of equipment that he had with him, at which time he put down the gas can, raised the shotgun to a shooting position. At that point in time, the deputy and the 2 Secret Service agents fired their weapons and neutralized Morning.
Somebody said he just slipped through the gate. Yeah, well, this is also the first time we've ever had a president who refuses to make the White House his primary residence and spends most of his time at his own private fucking mansion called Mar-a-Lago. So I'm pretty sure Secret Service, like, I guarantee you that place is nowhere near as secure as the White House, bro. The White House has been secure for like over 100 years now. Oh, almost, what is it? Yeah, no, over 200 years since it was burnt down in 1812. He's trying to use a shotgun at a distance. You can use a shotgun at a distance, bro. Video games do not do shotguns justice. You can use a shotgun at a distance, my guy.
Iran and the U.S. response. Concerned about what's going on in Iran and the U.S. response. If you can stand. Primarily because you're concerned about what's going on in Iran and the U.S. response. If you can stand.
There's no shot that Ro Khanna was calling for war with Iran. There's no fucking shot. I don't believe that, bro. Maybe. I mean, it could be true, but I don't believe that. Oh, that's hilarious. Kim Jong-un wins re-election? Who would have thought? Who would have thought that Kim Jong-un wins re-election in North Korea? Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk? Congrats, Big Kim. Congrats, Rocket Man. You did it. I wonder why. I wonder why. Who was the opposition? Was there opposition? Was there? Who ran against them? Which North Korean had fucking grapefruit-sized balls to run against Kim Jong-un? Please tell me. Please tell me. He's paid for by APAC. Luigi, that's me in my laugh. Luigi, believe it or not, that's your father giggling. Hey, Luigi, guess what? Hey, but get this. That was me No, but I hear you. No, but get this. That was me and not... No, but I understand. No, I get that. But get this. That was me. And no, but hear me out, Luigi. That wasn't Nah, but that wasn't a monster. That was your father speaking in the place that he pays rent to speak in. So, it's unfucking believable. It's unfucking believable. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. But get this, Luigi. I'm the one who pays the bills. Yeah, me. Yeah. Unbelievable. Unfucking believable. Check this out. She's sassy today, isn't she? Bro, it's the snow falling off the side of the fucking building. It's just snow. She don't like it. She don't like it. It's loud. It's loud, and she's not a fan of it. Please don't ever bow to the Zio Cucks bribes. Brother. There's no amount of money on earth that could make me bend the knee to these Zionist fucking dogs. Are you out of your fucking mind? Are you out of your fucking mind, bro? Never in a million years. Never in a million fucking years, bro. Money comes, money goes. But standing firm in your principles, you'll have to live with that. You have to live with that shit for the rest of your goddamn days. What's Luigi's political philosophy? Oh, she's a Nazi. She is a dachshund, you know, so. What do you expect? He's so fat and out of shape. Can women be drafted? I don't think so. Oh, friend of the show, Shoikat Chakrabarty.
Terrorize people through ICE, right? But what if we use that instead to actually develop things, build things people want? I mean, this is the same thing when it comes to our foreign policy, right? Where we are spending, we had a $900 billion defense budget that just passed a few months ago, and about 115 Democrats voted for that, by the way. And we are spending all this money on dropping bombs in other countries and doing these endless wars. But no one wants that. If you look at the polling, only about 3% of Democrats and only 16% of Republicans want a larger defense budget, because that argument of we could be spending all this money and all these resources developing our own means of making a living, that really works. But when it comes to AI and the data centers, you're absolutely right. It's a completely bipartisan issue, both on the data centers themselves and the energy they're gobbling up, and how it's driving up people's home and energy prices. But the larger question here of, right now we have this technology that might be wiping out half of our jobs and basically determining the future of our society. Why should a handful of tech CEOs get to determine that future? Why should they have all that power? Right? And it's a technology that fundamentally was trained off of the sum product of human labor, of the things we produce.
And they're dancing in the streets, but they won't be dancing for long, that I can assure you. The Democrats on the court are thrilled, but they will automatically vote no. They're an automatic no, just like in Congress. They're an automatic no. They're against anything that makes America strong, healthy, and great again. They also are a, frankly, disgrace to our nation, those justices. They're an automatic no, no matter how good a case you have. It's a no.
Dude, he's such a baby back bitch.
Some good news in the coming. So hopefully you'll be hearing some good news in the coming weeks.
Well, a lot of this does boil down to Vladimir Putin, and I know you've dealt directly with him. So first of all, what is that like, and how do you...
Isn't that one of Trump's daughters? Or like his daughter-in-law? Dude, we live in the most fucking bullshit-ass corrupt kleptocracy ever, bro. The president's own daughter, or what is that, his daughter-in-law, is the one interviewing his own fucking special envoy to Ukraine. Like, it's all in-house. You're not a journalist, you fucking duck-face, Botox, plastic-ass fucking bitch.
You, with this position, go into dealing with some of these adversarial people?
He's never been anything other than straight with me. And I...
Putin? Vladimir Putin? Vladimir Putin? Vladimir Putin? Really? Oh my God.
I say that and I get attacked. But that's an accurate statement. He's told me that this is what his red lines are. Lara, I got attacked for going to meet him 8 times. How would you make a deal with someone on the other side unless you knew where the other person was coming from? I needed to understand what his motivations were, his goals, and so forth. And I actually think that a lot of those meetings now are becoming very relevant. We understand where they are. And I don't think the Ukrainians disagree with us in our assessment. So I think those meetings were important, and hopefully we're going to consummate this whole thing.
People were worried about...
So hopefully...
Jesus Christ.
We have red lines here from the U.S. How about over with Iran?
The president asked me that this morning, and he's... I don't want to use the word frustrated. It's almost because he understands he's got plenty of alternatives. But it's curious. He's curious as to why they haven't... I don't want to use the word capitulated, but why they haven't capitulated. Why under this sort of pressure with the amount of sea power, naval power that we have over there, why they haven't come to us and said, we profess that we don't want a weapon, so here's what we're prepared to do. And yet it's hard to sort of get them to that.
By the way, the White House already came out and said that, again, by the way, they said Iran will have a nuclear weapon within 7 days. They have said that since 1979. Okay? So just so you understand, when the government says Iran will have a nuclear weapon in the next 7 days, it means we're going to bomb them in the next 3 days. Right? That's just how they operate. That's how this fucking bullshit-ass warmongering fascist nation operates.
It's a huge indictment of... It's really not that hard, and it's a huge indictment of Jacob Frey and, frankly, the entire far left that they made that their cause of the day, letting violent sex offenders stay on the streets of America. The president.
Bro, you let a violent sex offender stay in the Oval Office. His name is Donald J. Trump. The address is 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. There is a pedophile in charge of the world's largest nuclear arsenal.
It's just not going to go for that.
Well, the irony doesn't end there, unfortunately, for the Democrats. They've
important to note that, like, this is
God
just.
damn it, that's
I think
so
a lot
loud.
of us have understood for a long
That was so loud.
that there is a class of people that exist above accountability, that exists kind of above of even like the concept of the nation state. That there are people out there who have so much wealth and so much power that they live in a totally different world than we do. And what the Epstein files are showing us is just how true that actually is, and also just how depraved that level of power and wealth can make people. And
hey, stop it.
It's amazing that it is really kind of bringing in a lot of folks who in other issues don't.
Something about Plattner doesn't sit right with me. He had a Totenkopf tattooed on his chest for over a decade. Yeah, bro, I don't trust this motherfucker as far as I can throw him, and he's a big boy. I doubt I could throw him. I don't trust this motherfucker at all. I think he's a Nazi. He can only be one of two things. A Nazi. B, so fucking stupid that he had a Nazi slogan, a Nazi symbol, one of the most famous Nazi symbols of all time, tattooed on his chest for 10 years and didn't know that. So either way, he should be fucking disqualified. He's either a dipshit or a Nazi.
Agree with each other politically, but we are all beginning to realize, right, left, Republican, Democrat, down here in the real world.
That's the problem, Avo. I don't think this guy's stupid, which means he's a fucking Nazi. Like verbatim. I think this is like subterfuge. I think this is infiltration. This is a Nazi infiltrating the far left.
We actually are just there to be exploited by a small group of people who in some ways are just kind of running the world for their own benefit. And the Epstein files show that in glaring fashion. And I think it's just the realization that we're all starting to wake up to this fact. And it is the only way that we're going to move forward is by, frankly, building the political power to hold all these people accountable and make sure that that kind of wealth just doesn't get to be accrued anymore.
Yeah, I believe it. That's a joke. I don't believe a word he fucking says.
Lake. He came in to see me today. These are the kind of things, he said, sir, we have to save the Great Salt Lake. I said, explain this to me, please. And in that city called Salt Lake City, somebody said, where is it located? I said, it's located in Salt Lake City, right? So he said, we're losing water rapidly, and it's getting smaller, drier. And you tell those people we're going to work on it really hard. We're going to save it. We're not going to let that go. That is what I call a real environmental problem, not using hairspray and I'm going to ruin the ozone, okay?
Oh, my God.
I'm in my apartment in Trump Tower.
He doesn't understand how aerosols work. That's so fucking stupid. Chad says, what's with the misinformation in your video, bro? What video and what misinformation?
It's totally sealed off, and if I use hairspray, they say, sir, you're creating an environmental hazard. That's not the...
He doesn't even understand how fucking aerosols work, bro. That's so goddamn gross.
Of Commander-in-Chief, leader of the free world.
Right.
Obviously, he has proven that he is the president of peace. But for anyone out there who might still have something negative to say, what would you tell them about where America is as it relates to our position on the world stage?
He's changed the
most recent video, the attack on the airport in Mexico. Bro, he literally showed footage of everyone in that airport running for their damn lives while smoke plumed out and fucking explosions were happening outside. We got footage of it.
Perspective of everybody out there, all the different nations, and you listen to it one after another.
Would you like to see that footage?
Now that they get up there, the naysayers would say, oh, they're just pandering to him. It's preposterous. Everything is better in the entire world and in each of their individual countries, which is what they say about the president. What presidency has ever done this much in 4 years, or in fact, even 8 years? But he's done it in 11 months. And it's nothing short of remarkable.
Jesus Christ, these people are such bootlicking cucks.
For the Democrats, well, the irony doesn't end there, unfortunately, for the Democrats. They've now thrust us into a DHS shutdown, and they claim the reason is that they want more oversight into ICE and CBP, but in doing so, have actually paused any ongoing audits into federal law enforcement conduct. So this clearly is all a political play.
Yeah, so I actually talked to a couple of my former Senate colleagues, people who are able to work across the aisle, who have good relationships with Democrats, and I said, look, please come to me and the president and tell me what is it exactly the Democrats want to allow us to continue to enforce the border? What is it that they're asking
I'm pretty sure
for?
they gave you a fucking to-do list, which was the most baby-back to-do list I've ever seen in my life. But it was like no masks. They have to have identification. They need warrants to go into people's homes. They gave you the fucking to-do list.
What policy changes? We're not going to agree with a lot of them, but at least let's put an offer on the table. And what's become abundantly clear is there is no offer on the table.
Brother, I can pull up the fucking Democrats' demands. Yeah, dude. Dude, I could pull it up. It took me a second. They gave you a fucking list of demands. They already gave it to you, you fucking dumb piece of shit.
They're just throwing exactly the Democrats want to allow us to continue to enforce the border. What is it that they're asking for? What policy changes? We're not going to agree with a lot of them, but at least let's put an offer on the table. And what's become abundantly clear is there is no offer on the table. They're just throwing a temper tantrum and hoping that the president will give up entirely on the idea of border enforcement. So what we will be willing to do is talk to anybody about how we can make the enforcement of our immigration laws easier and smoother. We're willing to have that conversation, but we're not going to give up on the American border.
I don't think that's what any Democrats are asking you, especially considering the Democrat Party is not, they're not like us, bro. They're not saying like there shouldn't be borders. Like this is like that. The idea of nation states with borders is a fairly new concept, right? They're not like us. The Democrat Party is like, yeah, no, we should definitely be rounding up and deporting people. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
JD, I have to ask.
Thank you for the $20. Donald has only got one ball. Hegseth has two, but very small. JD's looks like a baby's, and Stephen Miller has no balls at all. Yeah, no, that's a good way to paint them.
JD, I have to ask you. Usha once said that you did not know how to cook much before you met her. So what is the best and worst dish that you ever cooked for your wife?
I mean, the worst is very easy.
First one.
It's so easy. So
this is they despise each other. Yo, they despise each other. I know there are married folk in this chat. This is not a happy couple.
Okay, so Usha's a vegetarian. I am not.
And also, JD didn't believe in recipes.
Yeah.
Let's put that
so I'm like thinking to myself, what does a vegetarian eat? Okay, vegetables, dairy, and bread. So I went to the grocery store. I got those crescent rolls that you can get. They're very good. I rolled them out like into a pizza shape and put vegetables and ranch dressing on top and stuck it in the oven for 30 minutes. It was disgusting. Like, it was actually inedible. And I'm like, it's amazing that the relationship lasted because that was the first time that I ever cooked for her.
Jesus Christ, Usha, sweetheart. Usha, you could be doing a whole lot better. You could be happy. You know, you can be happy, Usha. You can have a family that loves you. What the fuck are you doing with James Donald Bowman? Why are you married to James Donald Bowman, dude? That's fucking gross. Ew! Ew! Got more here.
And I'm like, it's amazing that the relationship lasted because that was the first time that I ever cooked for her. The best thing that I've ever cooked.
Where does the Vance come in? It's entirely made up. Guys, do you not know that JD Vance's name, both beginning and end, are not his name? He has changed his name multiple times throughout his life. But James Donald Bowman Vance, none of that is his name. Like, JD Vance is completely, what's the word? It's his, it's a fake name. It's a fake name. His whole fucking name is fake. That's not his name. I don't know what sort of fucked up history he has, but he's trying to hide it. Alias. That's
pretty good at cooking now. Like, I can make a pretty good like brioche bread, for example.
Oh, that's pretty solid.
I'd put that up there. But
I mean,
what's your answer?
JD goes through these phases where he tries to perfect different foods, and there's several that he's really tackled. So biscuits was an early one. Most recently, it's been most recently it's been shokupan, which is the Japanese milk bread. Oh, it's an excellent bread, and he's been working on it for a while, and he does it really well, almost as well or as well as some of the restaurants we get it from.
I'd say almost as well.
Well, we'll all be over for food later, so
Yes.
I hope you're prepared. Just to wrap up, and we appreciate.
Dude, they're trying so hard to humanize JD because they know that Donnie ain't going to be alive to run in 2028, and they're stuck with JD, and JD is completely and utterly fucking rizzless, dude. Everybody fucking hates JD Vance. I'm pretty sure JD Vance hates JD Vance. Crazy. Crazy. I gotta get ready to go to the gym, gang. Daddy's gotta go pick things up and put them down. Pick things up and put them down. Pick things up and put them down. All right, guys. I'm out of here. Thank you very much for tuning into the Valenti Videos broadcast. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. All right, guys. Have a good one. Yeah, he's trying to be a wife guy, but he hates his fucking wife. All right, guys. Later. 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 Later.